Hey, welcome. This is my first time trying to record a problem and solve it at the same time. Sorry for something. Let me quickly just set the timer. Okay, let's read the problem. Given an encoded string, return its decoded string. The encoding rule is k of encoded string is inside the square brackets is being repeated k times. Okay, now that k is guaranteed to be a positive number. Makes sense. It shouldn't be zero negative. You may assume that the input string is opposite valid. There are no extra white spaces. Square brackets are all well formed. Furthermore, you may assume that the original data does not contain any digits, and that digits are only for those repeat numbers. Okay, so the end result won't have any numbers. For example, there will not be input like 3 or 2 times 4. The test cases are generated so that the length of the string never exceeds 10 power 5. Okay, I see. Let's see the test cases. Yes, 3A is followed by 2 times BC, and then there is all the nesting possible. Okay. It kind of looks like my initial impression is that it looks like a recursive problem. And I mean, a recursive problem can also be solved with the help of a stack. But definitely you need to parse through the string. And if you are doing it via like an iterative approach and using a stack, I think you will need to go character by character. I'm just trying to understand the general pattern. So let's say, and another thing is, I think this is also a valid test case, like 3, and you have 2, A. Yeah. So this should return 6A. I mean, A. Yeah. Let's just do this. Let's make this test case. Hmm? Yeah. Either way, 2, 3 or 3, 2. Doesn't matter, right? So, yeah, it's possible. So I see that one is like if I have some kind of a number, then you'll have a bracket. And then inside this, you can have some kind of a string in one. And this is for S1, let's say. And you can have another number, and you should actually have another number in row. And then you can have another string S. Okay. So S1 is we will need to start expanding or sorting from the inside. So how about we use a stack? I'm just trying to complicate it such that we should be able to have like multiple nestings. Anyway, your idea is like you will be going character by character. You can consider a number or you can consider like a string or you can consider a string or a closing bracket. But these are the mainly we can have a number. We can iterate through it, and then what we can do is let's take this. We can start iterating character by character, and we can aggregate the entire number. Have we have done that? We have aggregated the entire number, and then we encounter an opening bracket. Then we can now append it into the stack. And then you have S1. We know that this will be repeated S1 times. Okay. I'm getting a rough approach where we can use something like a stack to think that this is my stack. So once you have then I can have N1 come up. Like we will actually we got the N1 number, see some sort of numbers we haven't. And then we go for this. And then we check what is the S1 string. We will append S1. And then we will go next if we encounter another number until we encounter another bracket. This is like it is inside nested, right? So this will be like you will have an N2 here, then you can have an S2. This represents the subproblem list. And when there's like two elements in the stack, it means like it is nested. Okay. And need to maintain something like services. And let's have something like this in three. Yes. Okay. Once we have this, now we have already started encountering and closing it. Once we are closing bracket until the stack becomes empty. So we will resolve this into its result. We will have R3. That's it. And then what we will do is we will resolve this into R3. We'll have like a resolver. We'll do like into times two. And then solve it to R3. And then this thing, it will modify it. It will be S1, R3. And then this will be resolved. And this will become this has become something like into S2, like NS2. Let's call it NS2. And then we'll this is NS2. And then we'll have N1 times. And okay, how do I notate this? Let's call it N2 S2. This S2. Okay. And then we're gonna have N1 times this, and then we're gonna resolve this into the stack efficiently. And this yeah, so pop this now. This side two times. This will be resolved to N1 times this one. So but, so again, we will start character by character. So whenever the stack becomes empty, we should this is one invariant. Another invariant is we have this becomes empty. So sorry. Yeah. After that, this will return to the this. Let's see. So it's an opening bracket. Okay. List of like a of you know, technical of someone. Yeah, let's start building this logic. In each case, I want to just think if there is no number at all, then what luck? Let's just get a string. We'll go character by character. We'll be building this one. Doesn't have any number. Yeah. We should just put animals. So just make sure that that is there. Just try to wait. So let's start with we need to also figure out the number. So for the should have 0. We will be like yeah, 0 should like and first so existing plus like this we can have this. And when we encounter this, we can just start. Then we can start in our the list. We can have a list of the number because we haven't in something, but it's multiply. What is the string that needs to multiply? That we can only enter once we have another opening bracket. So current string is equal to n. Let's take this example. So let's have a stack. So I've encountered a closing bracket. So I would have taken this can be equal to none. And do this. And then once you encounter a number, stack is once you encounter a number, there is then this becomes the part here a square bracket when you encounter 2. So yeah, I need to do that. So we encounter 2, and when you encounter another opening bracket, this becomes 2 from 1. And then once you so encounter, yeah, yeah, this is not as simple because sometimes you might have a character followed by a number. Sometimes you might not. You might just have a closing. Once you have a closing, you just um accumulate. Just thinking in this case you have 3, and the idea is that I want to append a or like the substring that needs to multiply or the string it needs to multiply here. But, is that a good method? Can we have an alternative? So we can have 3. We know that whatever inside it is 3 times multiplied. Yeah, multiplied. You encounter an opening bracket. The idea is when do we update this? Delete was none. It was once I hit this. Right, right. Then we go deeper. Okay. Like start taking out. Then once I get a number, I see that there is a current string. Then the initial current string is empty. Saying that if current string is empty initially, when you encounter a number, you have to just check that if there's a stack. Or table the current strings. Okay, initial stack is empty, so there's nothing else to go. But once you encounter another number, then you allow this. Okay, makes sense. So current string is for and unseen number and string is empty. Once you encounter an opening bracket, you append it to the stack. Okay, makes sense. That's pretty much it. Once you encounter a closing bracket, you must form stack. So basically you have this 2C, so hopefully 2C is getting 100. stack. Let us print the stack. Okay. Let's reset the disk cases. Okay. 3A 32. Okay, that's not bad. So somewhere we need to make sure that this is not 32 and this is like 2. So somewhere normally needs to become 0. So seems right. Actually, no. This needs to pop, but okay, I'm accepting that. Okay. How about I make my own monkey test case? Good. Three. Yeah. Now, using that subsequent ones are getting them. So we need to make sure the correct substring value is reassigned. And here also it doesn't seem like it's doing the right job. Good. No worries. Okay. And then once you have this, yeah, you must check that if they encountered it for the first time or is none. But you encountered it for the second time, that is tag made by element high. Then during that time the CS needs to be assigned to stack of minus 5. Again, shouldn't be stack of minus 0. Yeah. You had square. 3 is for A, 2 is for C, 4 for D. So once you start encountering those bracket, then whatever is your current string, it needs to first of all so is your current string. Yes, stack of minus gamma. And then on that he should start being stack where stack exists. You will have like print stack. Yeah. Then once we have the stack, we will be popping backwards. And need to do this on the sign print that value to the result. But we need to first do like a pop. Okay, so this 4 times d comes over. So we will have like a number from a string is equal to this. We will have like s times n, and we need to take the stack Therefore, we need to take that and append that to a stack of -1. We can easily append with this stack of -1. We can, okay, stack is there. So, example, we have this which the stack is like this. So we have 40 this thing. Then we'll have this 3 forms. Final spring is equal to empty. Final string. Okay. Let's say if you have 3 here, then 3 times in. And let's say if you have 4D in the string, yes, CDD, and something. There's a total difference. Okay. Then talking about this. That will be empty. Okay. Because now four. Yes, it is. Mhm. Oh, good. We have like a dot behind. It's str instance one type. Okay. Just print the stack. So it was enough. Make sure that yes, this sense of it's one. This is an edge case Champions Davis. You have like a string everything after that. Yeah, so we need to check if CS exists. think I'm close, but matter the end. It's EF. This is resolved. For the last part, that is once after this is done, you have like EF. Okay, so if any more lingering string is remaining, then we'll just print and check. Stack is empty. That makes sense. Please. Okay. Um, After this, I would say you should pretty much get an empty string. Simple case is working. And I think this part will also work where you have just a string. String, print statements. There's no print statement. Right, okay. Good. No std out. Okay. That's all. Damn. What's going on? Yeah, it is possible that before you encounter a number, there is a string already and that needs to be just appended, right? Now how will you handle it that? Okay, so you just keep appending this, but before you get a number. Let me see if we get a number. If we can see that. So you check if the stack is currently non-empty, then we'll check like, okay, what is the last one? It's an append whenever you encounter a number, right? That's what we're doing. And we also did that here as well. Whenever you have this, okay. So this again is like when you encounter, this is something that happens different number. So yeah, so CS exists. If some CS exists, then now it's just append it as a result. Oh God. Make second. Wait for it. So some CS is already there. Now you encounter, but what you should do? Usually you have like that like in between as well, right? In between. I mean, like if it has some basic text and then you can have that. So that also needs to be handled. So if stack is empty and you have some kind of CS and stack, then just append it. Okay. Yeah, of course. Here was something. Oh, damn. Okay, I'm losing my brain. Okay, this makes sense, and then there's a lot of nesting happening. Thinking it's this case only. You just have more complexity attached to it, like yeah, this is not a good look for handle. Yeah, so I don't think this is capturing correctly. Yeah, it's not capturing correctly. First of all, XYZ is not being right. XYZ is not being captured. This numbers and then ABC. Here two ABC. And you have three. And then you have XYZ. So now this particular string needs to be added to stack empty now. But you have encountered some more string. Let's just do it on pen paper this way. So you start with aggregating the number, your number, and then you see string. So sorry. But you start singing, yeah, none, A, B, C, and then you get three. So you change this to B, C, skip and you're like, okay, there's like three here. And you encounter a if you encounter CD and then you encounter close like so you see the previous one, you find CD to it, and then you start seeing string, right? So then you encounter a closing bracket, you resolve this. And then you are pending. That should not be the case actually. So CD happens. Part 6, it is having 6 times. That's not good. We should have 3 times XYZ. Just remove this C because it's so confusing. Okay, so this one's A, B, C, D, C, D, C, D. So you have like 3 times this particular part and XYZ. What you're doing is you're doing A, B, C, D. C, D, and C, B, C, C, and you make A, D. You just need to append this XYZ to this part now because, yeah, that's what it is. So, trying to have that lingering strings, yes, and append it to this part. And once you encounter this closing bracket, once you encounter this closing bracket, your XYZ must be appended to it. So don't keep it as none, keep it as an empty string. This. Why is the stack empty? The fuck is the stack empty? So I'm just doing pen paper here. A C X Y Z. So you start off with your stack. You see it too, and then once you encounter this opening, first opening bit, then you're going to my empty string. Then you encounter AB, and then you encounter a number 3. So once you do that, once you encounter a number, you append to AB. And then you have a number 3. Then once you have opening bracket, you append another entry. And beside it, there'll be like a empty string. Then you have a closing bracket. Once you have a closing bracket, then you take, like, if the stack has some entries, take whatever is the previous one, append CD to it, then pop it. Then append CD to it, maybe. Right. Yeah. Actually, you shouldn't do that. You should just do one. Sure where these two C's are coming from, but looks like You have three, then you see those. Take them. Then, or simply append that. Reserve and and see CCR abandoned. And let's do that. If stack is empty, then choose this test case. Okay. This. Oh God. That was a close one. 52 minutes. Damn, I'm not even sure. This is optimal. This needs to be improved. Code is like so many edge cases are there. Okay. I'll put out another video with the cleaner solution.